And here is perhaps the most horrible way how we are entrapping ourselves inside our minds and inside our heads, and we are just simply claiming false things to ourselves, which are holding ourselves, which are leading to us to hold ourselves back, uh, and pretty much regarding this whole thing and onto some ideas or some identities that we know that they are good. Let me tell you an example. So, for example, you are telling that you are in monk mode, so therefore you are resigning from many things, and basically you are just using this as an excuse in order for you to not have to face some things. And so the actual base point of this whole idea will be all revolved around comfort. So basically, our monkey brain and our monkey mind are pretty much love comfort and does every single damn thing in order for us to not having to go through the things that are making me psychologically and physically putting us into psychological or either physical pain. And so what is happening is that every single time when we are about to do something new, or at least something that might seem or could be psychologically or physically challenging, perhaps painful, our mind is just red flag. This is not good, bro. This is not good. You're supposed to be going back. You're supposed to be going back. You're not good. You're not at the right place. Something is not right over here. Let's just simply get back to the comfortable place that we know already. And so the actual problem over here is that we are tend to build up whole identities behind this, so therefore we can justify not taking action, taking the easier path, leaning back to comfort and not growing every single time on the ideas that we are just simply claiming for ourselves. So for example, and this will be my personal story, and this will be with monk mode. So for example, about 1.5 years ago, I decided, but quite decisively a year ago, I decided that I will be doing monk mode. Okay, so what does that mean? For me, it meant no social media, no fapping, no masturbation, no social life, like many things. Like pretty much, I was living like as pleasureless as humanly possibly I could. I mean, also with my diet, like no sugary food, no. I was doing keto diet and 1 meal a day. Mostly I'm still eating that, and there are no problems with those things. But at the end of the day, I just simply wanted to highlight over here that no pleasures on any level. So it's like zero pleasures, and pretty much live as much as like almost like asceticism, asceticism. I've been working out every single day and so on and so forth. It's like this hard, brutal, freaking lifestyle where it's like almost unhuman many days when I'm looking back. And so what have happened to me is that now I got new things that I knew and I felt inside that, hey man, you are not doing these things. You're supposed to be doing these things. So for example, one huge thing for me is fucking music, okay? And I really got to choose between music and entrepreneurship, or at least this is what my belief is around this. That handles if it's true or not. The point over here is that I just chose in my mind that I will become an entrepreneur. Meaning that in this regard, I also chose that I will be resigning from music, mostly from music creation, from hosting parties, from DJing and all the good stuff. And so since I was resigning from those things, I was like, okay, man, it is good, but there are some Sundays, for example, and yeah, I was a huge provoker of working every single day, but I just got to realize that was also a huge BS of mine. And so the point over here being is that I just simply got many days. So for example, this is a Sunday, and it's like, man, like you're not DJing. Why you're not? Like you don't have anything to do. It's like, man, like you're supposed to be doing something that's charging you up. It's like, man, like I mean, like work can be charging you up too, but you just get the freaking hell out of there and do something different at least one day of the week. And so it's like, okay, man, I am not DJing because I am on this monk mode, and I am I don't really want to touch with all the old stuff because those will be coming back and I'll be getting back to this undecisive state and so on and so forth. And so the point over here is that inside of my head, inside of my mind, I was just simply building up all these things, all these ideas, all these identities regarding to how the freaking hell I'm just I supposed to be acting, and how all those things would be just holding me back. And so in this regard, I was able to just simply justify every single time when I really needed to take action, which might have been discomfortable for me, and I haven't taken that. And so another great example with that, reading. So before my journey of monk mode, I was reading a lot, like a fucking lot, like daily 2 hours at least. I was reading every month at least 2 books, but there were many months when I was reading 3 or 4 books. The point is, I was reading every single day. I was reading like 20 hours a week, like a lot. I was like learning. But I'm still like fucking interested in everything. Okay. The point over here being is that I was like, man, I'm not reading because, I'm building my business. And so there were obvious days when I was like, that tired. I couldn't really do anything with the business, but I was like, man, like I'm doing my business. I'm working on the shit. And I haven't been able to progress anything with business. I didn't read either, and I was frustrated by the end of the day. And so on the account of me being on this monk mode, doing my business, I've been just simply found an excuse for myself not to face the harder things. And another thing, waking up every single day, it's like, hey man, you're supposed to be chilling because you've been working. Like, what the fucking hell you been working on? And these are the things, and these are the tricks, and these are the tricks of our minds, and these are the actual traps that we're supposed to be avoiding. Because whether you believe it or not, brother, the actual proper path for us is every single time to go to the place which seems uncomfortable. And the actual trick over here is this. Not tomorrow. We shouldn't supposed to be going there tomorrow. We should supposed to be going there today. And this is why I'm a huge advocate of running, or not necessarily running, but working out, doing something that is physically fucking challenging. And so, whether you believe it or not, if we are willing to do that, if we are willing to do something that is physically challenging every single day, then we are just simply teaching to ourselves to get to the place that is uncomfortable. Because whether you believe it or not, this is also psychological discomfort for me. It's like, man, you're supposed to be figuring out how to, DJ at least, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. There is no way that you don't have 30 minutes or this. Like, you sleep less. I don't care. It's like, but you can do that. And there are, like, you just simply have these things that that you're supposed to be doing, but yet you're not doing them. Okay? So we all have these things every single time on every single level. And so instead of me just simply looking them in the eye and facing the actual discomfort and the anxieties and all that shit, I was like, man, like I have this identity, so I can just hide behind my identity. Like I'm monk mode, I'm not doing certain things, I'm on my path, and all the BS. And so at the end of the day, I just simply got to realize that those things and those ideas and those identities are holding me back. And so this is a huge warning, because every single time I'm just simply getting to that place, my mind is just simply popping up, and I'm like, man, you shouldn't supposed to be doing this thing because this might be holding you back, this might be uncomfortable, so on and so forth. And so this is how I'm holding myself back. So for example, today with running, I was like, man, I just want to get the freaking hell out of here. And my mind was, looking for excuses how to break me. And this was like, man, before yesterday you got a bad diarrhea. Yesterday you didn't really eat too much. You're supposed to be going back to work, and you're supposed to be, start working more because you've got a lot of shit to get done today, and so on and so forth. And so my mind just, I tried to, bro, just simply stop and take a little break, and you will go for it. Try to do every single thing just to get the freaking hell out of there, because it was uncomfortable. And by me going through that thing, I just really rephrased my mind again. It's like, man, this is uncomfortable. That's the proper place to be at. And with psychological discomfort, so for example, I will be making cold calling today, and it's like, man, I don't want to fucking do that. And in the bottom of my heart, I know that I have to do them. I need to do them because at this very moment, this is the actual acquisition channel of my business. I haven't been able to build up the outreach methods yet, so this is basically the actual my acquisition channel. So it's like, man, you're supposed to be doing that shit. And the other thing, so for example, with social life, it's like me just simply justifying me not putting my ass out there with, me building my business, me, being on this mountain. No, brother, you're a social freaking creature. You're just simply supposed to be getting your ass all day. And so by me having these brutally set ideas and beliefs about myself and how I'm supposed to be, I just simply tend to find something that I can justify them to you. And so, brothers, what are the things that are holding you back? What are the things that you are justifying your not taking action? Because we all do have them. And brother, I have to warn you, because those are the places where we are just simply not good. It's like that. Those are the places where we are not growing. And I just got to realize. So the last 1 year, I just simply set up for myself that I will be achieving a 10K a month income, and I'm fucking not there. You know why? Because I had weeks and months when I was over fucking sleeping because I had enough money in my bank account and I got fucking comfortable. And I'm not there. And I'm not there. And I'm not there because of that shit. And I thought that I would be going to those places, but I wasn't. Because of these fake ideas. I could be growing every single day way fucking much faster, but I'm just limiting myself. And it is true for every single one of ourselves. We could all become billionaires. We could all become the freaking whatever we want to become. But we are just limiting ourselves up here. And I'm not meaning it's in a boohoo case that, hey, like, you could be a millionaire in 2 days. No. I'm thinking about long term, but eventually opening up the actual possibility for the potential. And yes, we just simply have to go through the pace, which is discomfortable, which will be leading us to basically push through our current states, which have been resulting us to get to the current state where we are at. So this is the actual math behind it. Of my love.